Back when I was a kid, I used to go over to my grandmother's all the time, and she'd be watching the old TV show Matlock. For those of you that haven't seen it, that's the one where Andy Griffith played the lawyer. Or she'd be watching like Perry Mason or Columbo or The Price is Right, vintage Appalachian TV. I'd be sitting over there watching Matlock with her, and every Matlock episode was pretty much the same. They were entertaining as hell, but they were pretty much the same episode. Matlock would be trying to find some killer or some crook or some thief or somebody. He'd be trying to gather up all the evidence and put all the pieces together to bring this person in. And people will be telling him, you ain't got nothing, Matlock. This ain't going to work. You ain't got no evidence, Matlock. Hold on a minute. I'm going to get this eventually. Well, finally, he'd get the killer on the witness stand. And he'd start breaking him down. He'd start showing him how it all happened. And the guy would be going, oh, wait a minute, hold on. That don't prove nothing. You ain't got nothing on me. You can't prove that. I wasn't there. And finally, Matlock would be like, you was there. You was behind the door when she came in and you shot her. And then you put her in the trunk of your car and you drove her down to the river and blah, blah, blah. But you left behind this bandana right here and I got it and whatever. And the guy would start looking like a deer in headlights. And then finally he would just drop his head and the judge would look all shocked and the jury would be aghast. And you see the people in the courtroom just kind of dropping their heads. And Matlock would be like, that's all, Your Honor. And then the next thing you would see is Matlock standing outside the courtroom like, yeah, we got us another one. And that's what I've been waiting on this entire time. I've been waiting on that moment this entire time that we've been watching this train wreck that is called Donald Trump. And it still hasn't happened. Even after his former attorney, Sidney Powell, has now flipped. The woman that was going to release the Kraken, the woman that said she had all the evidence in the world to prove that the 2020 election was stolen, she actually went on right-wing TV, and she talked about how that Trump purposely didn't call off the insurrection because he was purposely trying to stall so that Mike Pence couldn't certify the results and so he could stop the peaceful transfer of power. That's what he was going for. She's already admitted to every bit of that. And now she has flipped, and she has pled guilty. And she got a slap on the wrist at the end of the day. I mean, she's going to have 6 years probation. She's going to have a $6,000 fine. But she has to testify against her co-conspirators. And guess who one of her co-conspirators is? Yeah, it's Donald Trump. But there are people out there in the land of the internet that is still saying, oh, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. I actually saw one person say, oh, well, she went ahead and made a deal because they didn't have nothing on her. They didn't have nothing, so she just went ahead and made a deal. I'm like, okay, now I realize that not everybody finished the 12th grade, okay? And I realize that not everybody understands how the system works. And I realize that not everybody went to law school. But come on, for crying out loud, you had to have saw a Matlock episode. You had to have saw Perry Mason. You have to know that shit like that don't work that way. That's not how shit works. How can you be so blind? How can you be so stupid to actually say somebody took a plea deal because they didn't have anything on them? It is one of the most baffling things I have ever seen in my life. We're sitting over here, we're watching the world burn down around us. We're saying, hey, it's on fire. And they're going, it ain't far. It ain't real far over there. I don't smell no smoke. I ain't nothing going on. It's insane. But I flash back to a friend of mine. My good friend John told me something back when, after the election was over and Biden had won, and I was going, man, is he ever going to concede? Is Trump ever going to concede? Is he ever just going to admit defeat and go on? And my friend said, no. He said, no, getting Donald Trump out of office is going to be like stepping in a big pile of dog shit on a hot summer day. He said, you know how you like step in that big pile of dog shit and you get it all stuck in your cleats or your shoes? And so you go over to the water spigot outside the house, you turn it on, you're holding your shoe under there trying to get all that shit to come out. It won't. So finally you look around, you find a stick and you start poking and jabbing and trying to get it all out of there. And you finally get it. You think you got it. And you take it take your shoes in the house, sit them down on the rug, and then later your wife starts complaining and makes you take them back outside because she can still smell shit. That's what it's going to be like getting rid of Donald Trump. And I laughed when he said that. I thought it was a pretty funny analogy. And here we are in 2023. His own lawyers are flipping. Everybody's saying he did it. He's still not having the Matlock moment. And I'm still stuck here trying to get that damn dog shit out of my shoe.